Hey, in this video, I want to talk to you about how you could set 4 agreements with yourself that would allow you to sell more effectively and build solid relationship with your new clients that you close into deals or those that are on the fence that you need to do some relationship building with. So I'm Colin Yearwood, and what I do, I've been selling coaching for myself and for my clients over the last 6 years, sold over $3 million in coaching, and I help other coaches or entrepreneurs learn how to sell in a way that is confident and aligned with who they are as a person and allow them to help and serve a lot of people. So there's a book called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, a great book you should check out. But I think there's a lot of principles in that book. The 4 key principles in that book could be related to selling and how you can show up in a way that's authentically you, a way that's filled with integrity, and a way to serve powerfully to help your clients. So I'll walk you through those 4 agreements, how it's outlined in the book, but I'll talk to you about it in and how you can make those agreements with yourself to allow you to show up in sales conversations powerfully. Especially, look, if you feel, you know, angst, if you feel a little concerned, if you feel like, hey, I don't want to sell, I don't like selling, I don't want to come off as salesy, all those things, negative things people say about selling. If you feel that way about sales, I think if you have these agreements set up with yourself and you know how you're going to show up in sales situations, sales conversations, and how you're going to serve people, it would shift how you look at selling. It would shift it from a thing that you're taking from people and realize selling is one of the best things you can do to help people get the results that they desire to have. In most cases, get the results that they want and that they need. So let's dive into it. The first statement is be impeccable with your word. So one of the first of the 4 agreements is being impeccable with your word. And in sales, that is tremendously important. If you want to build trust, if you want to have a long-term client base, if you want to have clients coming back to you and giving you referrals, you want to be impeccable with your word. Now, what does that look like? What does that look like to a coach? What does that look like to an entrepreneur? What does that look like in sales? It's not say, do what you say, right? Do what you say. It could be tempting in many sales situations, sales environment to oversell, meaning make promises about your product and services, exaggerate testimonials so you can just close a deal. Yeah, people do that. People actually do that, right? But most of those people are in this game for short term. People I'm talking to, and I hope that's you, you're not just looking to make a sale to make some money today, but you're looking at sales as a way to build a long-term pipeline of income, of wealth for you, wealth not only financially, but wealth in relationships, wealth in results that you can create for people. So you want to keep your word, be impeccable with your word. You don't want to overpromise and under-deliver, but you also want to make sure you're delivering exactly what you promise. One of the things I always tell my clients, or any time I'm selling for one of my clients, I always say, hey, one of the things we're committed to is keeping our word and following through on 100% of everything we promise you in this offer. We're committed to delivering. So that's the first thing you want to do. It'll help you stay in alignment with who you are and help you stay connected to your clients and to your prospects in a way that builds trust on a long-term relationship. So that's the first thing, right? Be impeccable with your word. The second thing, don't take anything personal. Don't take anything personal. And I smile because I think a lot of people in sales take a lot of stuff personal, especially when someone says no to their offer. When someone else say, "Hey, you know what? Follow up with me in 2 days," and they ghost them, right? When someone push back and question the value of what you're offering. A lot of times our default mechanism is to, hey, take that personal and feel that person is attacking us. One of the first things I learned when I started selling, and I have a story of overcoming the fear of sales and closing a lot of deals. As I mentioned before, I've sold over $3 million in coaching for myself and for my clients, and I've sold some deals as much as $60 for $60,000, $60, I wish, $60,000 for a program. Now, one of the first things I had to work and get over was taking it personal when clients said no. What I realized, they weren't saying no to me. They were saying no to the offer. They were saying no to the results we were promising. They were saying no to everything else, not me. Right? So I stopped taking that personal. When a client said, hey, I'm going to follow up with me in 2 days and then they ghost you. No, I don't take that personal. I feel at times bad for them because I know the solution I'm selling will transform their situation based on the results they were telling me. So I don't take those things personal. So not taking it personal allows me to, get prepare myself, get centered, and come back to the next call. So a lot of times, someone says no, or you have a few no's, 3, 4 sales calls in a row, you that kind of start taking it personally. Your energy goes down. Now that affects your next 3, 4, 5 sales calls, right? So don't pass judgment on it. Hey, it was a no for them. Recoup yourself, come back to serve the person. The same thing with follow up. When someone ghosts me, I follow up with them until they tell me not to follow up. But I don't become a bug or a pest. But there's timely increments where you follow up, and I don't take that as a personal. Maybe that's not ready right now. Maybe they didn't have the confidence to tell me, hey, Colin, you know what? I don't want this product. So they give the excuse, hey, connect with me next week, right? So don't take things personal in sales at all. Especially sometimes you'll get negative feedback on how you showed up on a sales call. It happens. But one person's feedback shouldn't dictate on how your emotions, right? It shouldn't dictate how you show up to serve other people. Now, the third agreement you want to make with yourself is don't make any assumptions. This is a deal killer. This is a income killer. This is an impact killer when you're making assumptions. I've been guilty of making assumptions on sales calls, and I've been pleasantly surprised that at times I believe sometimes they're a natural makeup to prejudge people. Look, I prejudge. It's something you have to work on overcoming, especially if you're in sales. Don't prejudge people. Tell you one story about that. First time I remember that happening to me, I was selling coaching for a client. The program was $12,000, and a young lady came on. She was mature in age, but a young lady came on the call. She's technically a mess. She couldn't figure out how to get into Zoom. She wasn't paying attention on the camera. She was all over the place. Her answers were hit or miss. I'm like, is she really paying attention to what's going on here? And I prejudge. I'm like, you know what? She's not gonna be able to she's not gonna pay for this investment. She's not gonna join the program, right? I'll be honest, I did that. But I said, you know what? Let me just continue the call as a courtesy, because also too, that particular client reviewed my sales calls, right? So I want to make sure I was following the process and don't cause any issues down the road for that relationship. So I continued the sales process. I made the offer, and I just said, hey, are you ready to sign up? Just so I can follow the process. To my surprise, that young lady who I totally misjudged, she said, hold a second. She got up, came back with a credit card. She said, you know what? I had this card sitting here waiting to invest in something like this. And she paid in full. That wasn't the first time, but that was that was the first time, but it wasn't the last time. That was the time I remembered, oh my God, I just prejudged this young lady. And it's possible, based off of my attitude and the assumption and me prejudging and the assumptions I was making, I could have taken away this blessing from her. I could have showed up as a jerk on that call, dismiss her and go, and then she would not have found the solution she was waiting on to invest. There's many other cases where you try to prejudge people when it comes to, hey, they can't pay in full, so maybe they can't even afford the payment plan. Or sometimes you prejudge and say, you know what, let me share the payment plan with this person first, because they don't look like they can pay the full amount. And to your surprise, they could have paid the full amount, but because you offered them a payment option or you offer them a discount, they went with a discount. Now, that directly impact you sometimes in your revenue bottom line if you're a coach or an entrepreneur, or if you're a salesperson selling, right? That impact you, the commission that you make. So don't make assumptions. I know some of these things seems obvious, but if you ask yourself how many times you've made assumptions about people, or make assumptions about what you personally capable of doing, and how many times were you wrong? So that's the third of the 4 agreements by Don Ruiz. He has a great book out called The 4 Agreements. You can pick it up. It's not only for sales, but it has nothing to do with sales, by the way. But the book has a lot to do with how you can show up in your life in a way, in a powerful way, following these 4 agreements. I decided to craft it just for sales because that's something I love. Teaching, talking to people about. And nothing brings me more joy than helping people overcome that fear of sales so they can get out there and get their product, get their gift out to the world in a powerful way that not only make a difference for themselves financially, but make a difference to that person and the other people that they don't even see that their product can impact. Now, the last of the 4 agreements, number 4, always do your best. Right? It sounds like something your mom always said to you, right? Always do your best. But do we always show up to do our best? Sometimes on sales calls, you may want to dial it in, right? Just get on the call just to get through the call and not get from the call. One of my mentors, Scott DeMullen, I was going to say not a Scott, but Scott DeMullen, he shared that one time on a call with me, and he said, The goal of the sales call is to get from the call and not to get through the call. When you're trying to get on the call just to get through the call and move on, you're not doing your best. Always do your best to stay there, be present for that person, and give the person the time and attention that they deserve. You don't know what kind of impact you may make in their lives. Many times on sales calls, one of the things I always recommend, and you'll see more of these kind of videos on this channel, right? If you got this far in the video, definitely subscribe and turn on the notifications. You'll see more videos like this. One of the things I talk about on sales calls is when you're present and you give people an opportunity to express their desires, their pains, their challenges, their goals, their dreams, you'll be surprised how much they connect with you, because very few people are willing to sit down and listen to someone share from their heart. Now, on the type of sales calls that I teach my clients to do and the kind of sales calls that I do, that's how I show up. I want to show up there and do my best to be present, do my best to be in that space and create a space that allows them to feel safe to share, to explore ideas that they may not share with anyone. And many times in the feedback that I've gotten from clients, some of my clients have a feedback form I get after calls. It's people say, hey man, you're a good listener. No one has asked me those kind of questions. Thanks for recapping what I said so accurately, because I showed up to do my best. One of the bonuses I want to share with you on this video, one of the ways to do your best, it has a lot to do with how you prepare yourself internally, how you prepare your mindset, how you prepare your heart, how you prepare to get on those calls. Determine if you're going to do your best or not. If you're not in a good mental state, most times you're not going to be able to get on a call and be in a good mental state to serve that person. If you're having financial trouble, most times you'll not be able to get on a call and actually show up to serve people and actually share the offer in a way that's powerful. You'll be thinking about, look, I just need to close a deal just to make my trouble. So focus on showing up the best way you can in not only on your calls, but in your life. And that's what the Four Agreements does. That book, The Four Agreements by Don Ruiz Miguel, does. It talks about how to show up for your life. I wanted to share with you how you can use those four agreements to show up in a powerful way on your sales conversations. For more content like this, you can find me over at colinyearwood.com and subscribe to the channel. I'll be sharing a lot more stuff like this. Enjoy.